Jagrudev, so how did Adi Shankaracharya ji emphasize the importance of satsang, the company of the wise, and how can it influence our mindset, decisions, and success in modern life? Jagrudev and Pranam. So, in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya ji, satsang is often highlighted as a key factor in spiritual growth. How is satsang relevant for people in today's fast-paced and digitally connected world? Satsang literally means sat is a truth and sang is association. So satsang means being in the company of truth, wisdom, and positivity. In today's world, we are constantly influenced by social media content, peer groups, work environment, conversations around us. Our thoughts and behavior are deeply shaped by our surroundings. Exactly, Adi Shankaracharya and other masters emphasize that the company we keep influences our thoughts, thoughts influence actions, actions shape destiny. The satsang becomes a foundation for right living. In academic, students who are surrounded by focused, disciplined, and motivated peers tend to perform better. Their environment encourages consistency, clarity, and healthy competition. On the other hand, negative or distracting environments can reduce concentration and productivity. In mental health, satsang plays a vital role. Being in the company of positive, calm, and aware individuals helps reduce stress and anxiety. Listening to uplifting conversations, wisdom teachings, or engaging in meditation groups creates a supportive mental environment in careers. Professionals benefit greatly from mentors, guides, and colleagues who encourage growth, integrity, and learning. A positive work culture leads to better teamwork, innovation, and performance. In financial life, being around people who have responsible financial habits influences better decision making. Discussions around savings, investments, and planning become more constructive when the environment supports it. In business and entrepreneurship, satsang can be understood as being in the company of mentors, advisors, and like minded individuals who share vision and integrity. Such associations provide guidance during challenges, help in decision making, and encourage ethical and sustainable growth. So, satsang also protects individuals from negative thinking, wrong decisions, and influences, confusion, and misinformation. It nurtures clarity, values, and inner strength. Now, let me simplify. You become like the company you keep. So, choosing your environment wisely is very important. Now, modern application in academics, the lesson is study with focused peers. For mind, the lesson is stay around positive influences. For career, the lesson is learn from mentors and experts. For wealth creation, the lesson is follow financially disciplined people. For business. The lesson is build network of wise advisors. From this, we learn the right company shapes the right mindset, and the right mindset shapes a successful life. Now, Adi Shankaracharya emphasized Viveka, the discrimination between right and wrong, real and unreal. How can Viveka help us make better decisions in academics, career, finances, and daily life? Jagadav and Pranav, one of the key qualities highlighted by Adi Shankaracharya is Viveka, the ability to discriminate between what is right and wrong, real and unreal. In a world full of choices and distractions, how can Viveka guide us practically? The Viveka is a very practical and essential life skill. In simple terms, Viveka means clarity in decision making. Today, people face too many options, conflicting advice, rapid information flow, emotional decision making. Without Viveka, one can easily choose what is attractive but not beneficial, follow trends without understanding, and get influenced by pressure or emotions. Viveka helps in asking, is this truly beneficial for me in the long term? In Vedantic philosophy, Viveka is the first step towards wisdom. It allows a person to distinguish between temporary versus permanent, useful versus harmful, and truth versus illusion. This clarity is essential for balanced living. In academics, students often have to choose between short term distractions and long term goals. Viveka helps them prioritize studies over entertainment when needed. It also helps them choose the right subjects, resources, and study methods that align with their goals. In mental health, Viveka helps individuals distinguish between helpful and harmful thoughts. Not every thought needs to be believed or acted upon. By recognizing negative or repetitive thought patterns, one can avoid unnecessary stress and maintain emotional balance in careers. Professionals are often presented with multiple opportunities. Viveka helps evaluate options based on long term growth, ethics, and alignment with personal values rather than just immediate benefits like salary or convenience. In financial life, Viveka supports wise spending, saving, and investing decisions. It helps differentiate between needs and wants, avoid impulsive purchases, and focus on financial stability and growth. In business and entrepreneurship, Viveka is crucial for strategic decision making. Entrepreneurs must evaluate risks, opportunities, partnerships, and market conditions. The ability to choose the right path among many possibilities determines long term success. Viveka also strengthens the analytical thinking, patience, long term vision, and ethical judgment. It reduces confusion and compulsive actions. Now, let me simplify, not every option is the right option. Viveka helps you choose wisely. Modern application in academics, the lesson is choose priorities wisely. For mind, the lesson is filter useful versus useless thoughts. For career, the lesson is evaluate opportunities carefully. For wealth, the lesson is spend and invest wisely. For business, the lesson is make informed strategic decisions. From this, we learn clarity in thinking leads to clarity in action, and clarity in action leads to success. Now, Adi Shankaracharya ji emphasized vairagya or detachment. In today's world where ambition, competition, and material success are highly valued, how can vairagya be practiced without losing motivation or goals? So, pranam in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya ji, vairagya is described as detachment. Many people misunderstand detachment as renouncing goals or responsibilities. How should we understand and apply vairagya in modern life? And this is a very important clarification. Vairagya does not mean lack of ambition. It means freedom from over attachment. In simple words, you work well for dedication, but your happiness does not depend entirely on the outcome. Today, people often become stressed because they attach their identity to results. They fear failure. They constantly compare themselves with others. Vairagya brings balance. Traditionally, Vairagya is the ability to remain unaffected by temporary gains and losses. It is not about escaping life, but about living life with awareness and equanimity. A person with Vairagya participates fully in life but is not mentally bound by outcomes, remains steady in success and failure. In academic, students often experience anxiety due to exam results, expectations, and competition. Vairagya helps them focus on preparation rather than worrying excessively about outcomes. This reduces pressure and improves performance. In mental health, attachment to specific outcomes or identities can create stress, frustration, and disappointment. Practicing detachment helps individuals maintain emotional stability regardless of external changes. They learn to accept situations and respond calmly. In careers, professionals may become overly attached to promotions, recognitions, or titles. Vairagya allows them to perform their duties sincerely without constant stress about recognition. This leads to better focus and sustainable growth. Now, in financial life, attachment to wealth can lead to fear of loss and unhealthy decision making. Vairagya promotes a balanced approach, earning and managing wealth responsibly while not becoming mentally dependent on it. In business and entrepreneurship, attachment to outcomes can lead to fear driven decisions. Entrepreneurs with Vairagya take calculated risks, learn from failures, and adapt without emotional disturbance. This resilience is a key factor in long term success. So, Vairagya develops the emotional stability, inner freedom, the resilience, and balanced perspective. It helps individuals remain calm in both gain and loss. Now, let me simplify be fully involved in action but not trapped by outcome. Now, a modern application in day to day life, in academics, the lesson is study sincerely without anxiety. For mind, the lesson is stay unaffected by temporary emotions. For career, the lesson is work without stress of recognition. For wealth, the lesson is earn and manage without fear. For business, take risks with stability and clarity. So, from this, we learn do your best, stay balanced, and let outcomes come and go without disturbing your inner peace. Now, Adi Shankaracharya emphasized the brahmacharya as an important discipline. In modern life, how can brahmacharya be understood beyond celibacy, and how does it help in focus, productivity, and success? Jayadav and Pranam. So, in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya ji, brahmacharya is often translated as celibacy. However, in today's context, how should we understand brahmacharya in a broader and practical sense? The brahmacharya is commonly misunderstood. It does not only mean celibacy, it fundamentally means proper management of energy. In simple terms, how you use your physical energy, how you use your mental energy, how you use your sensory inputs, and what you see, hear, and consume. When energy is conserved and directed properly, it leads to better focus, higher productivity, and clarity in thinking, and strong willpower. Traditionally, the brahmacharya refers to living a life of discipline, moderation, and control over the senses. It is one of the foundational qualities for spiritual and personal development. It includes control over desires, responsible use of time and energy, avoiding excessive indulgence, maintaining purity of thought and action. In academics, students often lose focus due to distractions such as excessive screen time, entertainment, or lack of discipline. Practicing brahmacharya helps them conserve their mental energy, leading to better concentration, memory, and learning efficiency. In mental health, uncontrolled sensory consumption, such as overstimulation from media, or constant distractions can lead to restlessness and anxiety. Brahmacharya encourages moderation, which helps stabilize the mind and improve attention span. In careers, professionals need sustained focus and consistency to perform well. Brahmacharya supports disciplined routines, time management, and the ability to stay committed to tasks without frequent distractions. In financial life, Brahmacharya indirectly supports better financial habits by controlling impulsive behavior and unnecessary indulgences. Individuals can save more, invest wisely, and maintain financial discipline. In business and entrepreneurship, energy and focus are critical resources. Entrepreneurs who manage their time, avoid distractions, and maintain discipline are able to execute plans effectively, make better decisions, and sustain long working hours with clarity. So, Brahmacharya also builds self control, mental strength, consistency, and stability of mind. It is essential for long term success in any field. Now, let me simplify. Brahmacharya is disciplined use of energy in the right direction. Modern application in academics, the lesson is avoid distractions and improve focus. For mind, reduce overstimulation, stay calm. For career, build consistency and discipline. For wealth, avoid impulsive spending. For business, channel energy into execution. So, from this, we learn when energy is preserved and directed wisely, it transforms into focus, strength, and success. Now, in Vedanta, the mind of the manas is often described as both a source of bondage and liberation. How did Adi Shankaracharya explain the role of the mind? And how can we practically master the mind in daily life for better focus, peace, and success? Vedam and Pranam, in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya, the mind is said to play a central role in both our suffering and our growth. So, could you explain how the mind functions and how we can work with it in practical life? Vedam, the mind is a powerful instrument. It is not the problem itself, rather, an unmanaged mind creates problems, while a trained and aware mind becomes a great asset. In Vedanta, the mind is seen as something that constantly moves between past memories and future imaginations, rarely staying in the present moment. This restless nature of the mind leads to overthinking, stress, and distraction. Shankaracharya's teachings guide us to observe the mind rather than be ruled by it. When a person develops awareness, they begin to recognize thoughts as events in the mind rather than absolute truths, and this creates a natural distance and clarity. In academics, a wandering mind leads to lack of concentration, frequent distractions, and difficulty in retaining information. By training the mind through regular study routines, mindfulness, and focused attention, students can improve their learning efficiency and performance. In mental health, many emotional disturbances arise because individuals identify too strongly with their thoughts. When someone learns to observe thoughts without reacting impulsively, emotional balance improves and anxiety reduces significantly. In careers, a disciplined mind helps in maintaining productivity and consistency. Professionals who can focus on one task at a time, avoid multitasking distractions, and manage their mental energy tend to perform better and make more accurate decisions. In financial life, a scattered mind often leads to impulsive decisions, unnecessary spending, emotional investments, or lack of planning. A calm and clear mind supports rational financial choices and long term stability. In business and entrepreneurship, the mind must remain flexible yet focused. Entrepreneurs face uncertainty, pressure, and rapid changes. A trained mind allows them to stay composed, evaluate situations objectively, and respond rather than react. This clarity of mind becomes a competitive advantage in leadership and decision making. From the Vedantic perspective, the mind is a tool that should be guided by intellect, the buddhi, and aligned with higher awareness. When the mind is uncontrolled, it creates confusion and attachment. When it is disciplined, it becomes a vehicle for growth and self realization. Practices such as meditation, satsang, self reflection, and ethical living help stabilize the mind and reduce its fluctuations. Over time, the mind becomes more sattvic, calm, clear, and balanced, supporting both material success and inner peace. Now, let me summarize simply: the mind should not be suppressed but understood and trained. By bringing awareness to thoughts, practicing present moment attention, and cultivating positive habits, we gradually shift from being controlled by the mind to becoming a master of the mind. This transformation leads to improved concentration, emotional stability, better decision making, and overall success in every field of life. So, a disciplined mind creates a disciplined life, a clear mind creates a successful life. Now, in Vedanta, both manas, the mind, and buddhi, or the intellect, are important faculties. How did Adi Shankaracharya ji distinguish between the two? And how can understanding this difference improve decision making, clarity, and success in daily life? Jayadeva and Pranams in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya ji. We often hear about manas, the mind, and the buddhi or the intellect. They seem similar but are described differently. So, could you explain their roles and how they influence our choices in practical life? This is a very important distinction in Vedanta and extremely practical. Manas of the mind is responsible for thoughts, emotions, desires, and reactions. It is dynamic, reactive, and constantly fluctuating. Buddhi or the intellect is responsible for analysis, discrimination, decision making, and judgment. It is the faculty that can observe, evaluate, and choose. The challenge in most people's lives is that decisions are often driven by the mind rather than the intellect. When emotions dominate, choices become impulsive. When intellect is active and clear, decisions become balanced and thoughtful in daily life. The ideal situation is when buddhi guides the manas. This means the intellect evaluates options calmly while the mind provides inputs, and together they lead to aligned action. In Vedantic psychology, buddhi is considered the higher faculty that can discriminate between right and wrong, while manas processes sensory inputs and emotions. Buddhi is strong. When buddhi is strong and clear, it can regulate the mind and prevent it from becoming restless or impulsive. So, a person with a well developed buddhi is able to pause, reflect, and then act rather than reacting immediately to situations. This leads to better alignment with values, goals, and long term well being. In academics, students often face situations where they may feel like procrastinating or getting distracted. The mind driven behavior buddhi helps them evaluate the importance of tasks and choose to study instead of yielding to distractions. This improves consistency and academic performance. In mental health, emotional reactions often arise from the mind, while the intellect can help interpret situations more objectively. For example, instead of immediately reacting to a negative comment, buddhi can assess whether the comment is constructive or not, reducing unnecessary emotional disturbance. In careers, professionals are frequently required to make decisions under pressure. When buddhi is active, they can analyze data, consider long term consequences, and make informed choices rather than reacting based on stress or temporary emotions. This improves efficiency and leadership quality. In financial life, buddhi helps in evaluating risks, planning budgets, and making rational investment decisions. While the mind may sometimes push toward impulsive spending or emotional purchases, a strong intellect ensures financial discipline and stability. In business and entrepreneurship, buddhi plays a crucial role in strategic thinking. Entrepreneurs must evaluate opportunities, manage risks, and make decisions that affect the future of their ventures. When intellect guides action, businesses are more likely to grow sustainably and adapt effectively to challenges. So, strengthening buddhi involves reflection, study of wisdom texts, meditation, and mindfulness, association with knowledgeable people, the satsang. These practices define clarity and improve decision making ability. Now, let me simplify mind generates options, intellect chooses the right option. Now, modern application in contemporary time for academics, the lesson is use intellect to prioritize study over distraction. For mind, the lesson is observe emotions, don't be driven by them. For career, the lesson is make decisions based on analysis, not impulse. For wealth, the lesson is spend and invest with planning. For business, the lesson is let strategy or the buddhi guide execution, the manas. From this, we learn when intellect leads and the mind follows, decisions become wise, balanced, and successful. Now, in Vedanta, the samskaras, the mental impressions or habits, are said to shape a person's character and future. How did Adi Shankaracharya view samskaras, and how can we consciously build positive habits for success in academics, career, health, and life? Jagadev and Pranam in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya, samskaras are often described as deep impressions in the mind. So, could you explain what samskaras are and how they influence our daily life and long term outcomes? And samskaras can be understood as mental patterns formed by repeated actions, thoughts, and experiences. Over time, these patterns become habits, and habits shape behavior. Behavior, when repeated consistently, forms personality, and personality influences destiny. In simple terms, repeated thoughts form habits, habits shape character, and character determines outcomes. Many people underestimate how small daily actions accumulate over time. For example, consistent study habits, disciplined routines, and positive thinking patterns gradually build a successful academic or professional life. On the other hand, repeated procrastination, negative thinking, or distraction also create strong negatives. Negative samskaras that become difficult to change later. In academic, students who develop the habit of regular study, revision, and practice build strong samskaras of discipline and focus. These impressions make learning easier over time and improve retention and performance. Students who repeatedly avoid studying or rely on last minute preparation develop some scars of stress and inconsistency, which affect results in mental health. Some scars influence emotional responses. If a person repeatedly reacts with anger, fear, or anxiety, these patterns become ingrained. Over time, such responses become automatic. By consciously practicing mindfulness, meditation, and positive thinking, one can create new, healthier samskaras that promote calmness, resilience, and emotional balance. In careers, professional habits such as punctuality, responsibility, communication, skills, and continuous learning create strong positive samskaras. These habits enhance productivity and reputation over time. Conversely, habits like delay, lack of accountability, or poor time management can hinder growth. In financial life, habits like budgeting, saving, and investing regularly build positive financial samskaras. These ensure long term stability and growth. Impulsive spending and lack of planning create negative financial patterns that are difficult to correct later. In business and entrepreneurship, samskaras of discipline, risk awareness, innovation, and persistence are crucial. Entrepreneurs who consistently take initiative, learn from failures, and adapt their strategies that build strong mental impressions that support long term success. From a Vedantic perspective, samskaras are stored in impressions in the subtle form that influence thoughts and actions. They can be refined through conscious effort, right environment, and spiritual practices. Positive sanskaras can be strengthened through good company, the satsang, steady of wisdom, the self discipline, and ethical living. Over time, the accumulation of positive samskaras leads to clarity, stability, and a life aligned with higher values. To summarize, samskaras are not fixed, they can be consciously shaped. By becoming aware of our daily actions and repeatedly choosing positive behaviors, we gradually transform our personality. Small, consistent efforts, when repeated over time, create powerful impressions that define our future. So, your present habits become your future personality. Your personality becomes your destiny. Now, Adi Shankaracharya's teachings emphasize the discipline, the Anushashan as a key quality. How does discipline help in building consistency, overcoming procrastination, and achieving long term success in academics, career, and personal life? Jayadav and Pranam, in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya, discipline or Anushasana is considered essential for growth. In modern life, where distractions are abundant, how can discipline be understood and practiced effectively? This discipline is the foundation that transforms intention into reality. Many people have goals, but very few achieve them consistently. The difference lies in discipline. In simple terms, motivation may come and go, but discipline ensures steady progress. Discipline is not about force or pressure, it is about structured consistency. It means doing what needs to be done, even when the mind resists or feels distracted. Today, people face many distractions: social media, entertainment, multitasking, and irregular routines. Without discipline, these distractions take over time and energy. With discipline, a person is able to prioritize important tasks and maintain focus. In Vedantic tradition, Anushasana refers to self regulation and adherence to a structured way of living. It is closely linked with values, routines, and conscious effort. Discipline helps align actions with goals and reduces randomness in behavior. A disciplined individual develops control over time, senses, and actions. This control leads to consistency, which is essential for achieving any meaningful outcome in life. In academics, discipline plays a critical role in regular study habits, timely revision, and practice. Students who follow a disciplined routine, allocating fixed hours for study, minimizing distractions, and staying consistent tend to perform better than those who rely on last minute preparation. In mental health, discipline helps maintain balance in daily routines such as sleep, exercise, and mindful practices. A structured lifestyle reduces chaos in the mind and supports emotional stability. When life is organized, the mind naturally becomes calmer. In careers, discipline ensures punctuality, accountability, and productivity. Professionals who consistently meet deadlines, manage their time effectively, and maintain work ethics build trust and credibility over time. Discipline also supports continuous learning and skill development, which are essential for career growth and financial life. Discipline is reflected in budgeting, saving, and avoiding impulsive expenses. A disciplined financial approach ensures long term stability and reduces financial stress. It helps individuals make planned decisions rather than emotional ones. In business and entrepreneurship, discipline is essential for execution. Ideas alone are not enough, consistent action is required to bring ideas to life. Entrepreneurs who maintain discipline in planning, execution, monitoring, and improvement are more likely to succeed. Discipline also helps in managing teams, resources, and challenges effectively. So, discipline strengthens the time management, self control, consistency, and responsibility. It creates a structured path toward achieving goals. Now, let me simplify discipline is doing what is needed, even when you don't feel like doing it. For modern application in academics, the lesson is follow a consistent study schedule. For mind, the lesson is maintain daily routines and balance. For career, the lesson is be punctual and accountable. For wealth, the lesson is practice regular saving and planning. For business, the lesson is execute plans consistently. From this, we learn discipline turns effort into habit, and habit turns into success. Now, meditation, the dhyana, is emphasized in Vedanta as a powerful tool for inner growth. How did Adi Shankaracharya ji view meditation, and how can it practically help in reducing stress, improving focus, and enhancing overall well being in modern life? So, pranam in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya ji, meditation or dhyana is an important practice. In today's fast paced lifestyles filled with stress and distractions, how can meditation be understood and applied in a practical way? Like that, meditation is one of the most effective tools to bring balance between the mind and awareness. In simple terms, meditation is a process of training the mind to become quiet, focused, and aware. Our mind is usually scattered across past memories, future worries, and external distractions. Meditation helps bring the attention back to the present moment. When the mind settles, energy is conserved, clarity increases, and stress naturally reduces. In Vedanta, meditation is not just relaxation, it is also a means of deeper self awareness. Over time, it helps individuals observe their thoughts, emotions, and patterns without being controlled by them. Traditionally, dhyana is the practice of sustained attention and inner stillness. It is a step in the journey toward higher awareness. Through meditation, the fluctuations of the mind, the vrittis, gradually reduce, allowing a person to experience clarity and inner stability. Regular meditation helps purify the mind, making it more sattvic, calm, balanced, and focused. This creates a strong foundation for both material success and spiritual growth. Now, in academics, meditation improves concentration, memory, and comprehension. Students who meditate regularly are better able to focus during study sessions, retain information, and remain calm during exams. It reduces exam related anxiety and enhances performance. In mental health, meditation is highly effective in reducing stress, anxiety, and emotional fluctuations. It helps individuals observe their thoughts instead of reacting impulsively. This creates emotional resilience and inner peace. Regular practice can significantly improve overall mental well being. In careers, meditation enhances their productivity and decision making. Professionals who meditate regularly are able to manage stress better, maintain clarity in complex situations, and improve communication and leadership skills. It also helps in maintaining work life balance. In financial life, a calm and focused mind leads to better financial decisions. Meditation reduces impulsive behavior, fear driven decisions, and overthinking related to money. This supports disciplined financial planning and long term stability. In business and entrepreneurship, meditation helps leaders stay composed under pressure, think clearly during uncertainty, and respond rather than react to challenges. It enhances creativity, intuition, and strategic thinking, all of which are essential for innovation and growth. Now, meditation also develops the inner awareness, emotional stability, mental clarity, and concentration. It connects the individual with a deeper sense of peace and presence. Now, let me simplify meditation is not about stopping thoughts, it is about becoming aware and not being controlled by them. Modern application in academics, the lesson is improve focus and memory. For mind, the lesson is reduce stress and emotional reactivity. For career, the lesson is enhance clarity and productivity. For wealth, the lesson is make calm and rational decisions. For business, the lessons stay composed and creative under pressure. From this, we learn a calm mind creates clarity, and clarity leads to effective action and inner peace. Now, we have explored many Vedantic principles such as Viveka, Vairagya, Dhyana, Buddhi, Samskaras, and more. How did Adi Shankaracharya integrate all these teachings into a complete path? And how can a modern individual apply them together to live a balanced, successful, and meaningful life? Jayadeva and Pranam, in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya, we see many interconnected principles like Viveka, which is discrimination, Vairagya, the detachment, the Dhyana, the meditation, the Buddhi or the intellect, the Samskaras or the habits, and the discipline. Individually, each is powerful, but how do these teachings come together as a complete system for living in today's world? Jayadeva, this is an excellent question because Vedanta is not a collection of isolated ideas, it is a complete framework for life. When we integrate these principles, they form a holistic approach. Viveka helps you choose the right direction. Vairagya ensures you are not emotionally trapped by outcomes. Buddhi guides logical and clear decision making. Manas provides energy, emotions, and engagement. Samskara shape your habits and personality. Anushasan brings consistency and structure. Dhyana brings the inner calm and awareness. The Brahmacharya manages and preserves your energy. Satsang provides the right environment and influences. When all these work together, a person becomes balanced internally and effective externally. So Adi Shankaracharya's teachings are designed to guide a person from confusion to clarity and from limitation to realization. Each principle supports the others. For example, Viveka helps identify goals, Anushasana ensures consistent effort toward those goals, Samskaras reinforce positive behavior over time, Dhyana stabilizes the mind during the journey, Vairagya prevents attachment from creating stress. Together, they create a lifestyle where material progress and inner peace coexist. In academics, this integrated approach helps students choose the right goals, the Viveka, study consistently the Anushasana, avoid distractions, the Brahmacharya, and maintain focus, the Dhyana, and stay balanced regardless of results, the Vairagya. These habits, the Samskaras, reinforce the discipline, while a clear intellect of the Buddhi ensures effective learning strategies. In mental health, integration of these principles helps individuals develop awareness of their thoughts, the Dhyana, make conscious choices, the Viveka, reduce attachment to negative patterns, the Vairagya, and cultivate positive habits, the Samskaras. This leads to emotional stability and resilience in careers. Professionals benefit from clarity in decision making, the Buddhi plus Viveka, the disciplined execution, the Anushasana, the adaptability, the Vairagya, and consistent skill building, the Samskaras. Meditation supports stress management, while the right environment of the satsang encourages growth and ethical practices. In financial life, these principles promote mindful earning, spending, and investing. Viveka helps in evaluating financial choices. Vairagya reduces fear and greed, and Anushasana ensures consistent financial habits like saving and planning. Over time, this leads to stability and growth in business and entrepreneurship. Integration of these teachings is especially powerful. Entrepreneurs need clarity of vision, the Viveka, the emotional balance, the Vairagya, the disciplined execution, the Anushasana, the energy management, the Brahmacharya, and strong habits, the Samskaras, and a calm mind, a dhyana. Together, these qualities enable sustainable innovation, leadership, and resilience in uncertain environments. Now, when all these elements are practiced together, life becomes structured yet flexible, active yet peaceful, and successful yet balanced. This is the essence of holistic living as envisioned by Vedanta. Now, let me summarize in one line. Vedanta is not about escaping life, it is about mastering life from within. Modern application in Viveka, it leads to right choices. Vairagya leads to emotional balance. Buddhi leads to clear decision making. The Manas leads to engagement and energy. For Samskaras leads to habit formation. Anushasana leads to consistency. Dhyana leads to inner clarity. The Brahmacharya is the energy management, and Satsang is the positive environment. So from this, we learn when wisdom, discipline, and awareness and right environment come together, life becomes balanced, meaningful, and successful. Take a look.